A man walks down a small, busy street. The sun is already setting, and the sky is a brilliant pink. His name is Liu Shengshai. He is 18 years old and about to face the well-known hell of the university entrance exam. But for him, the exam is only an opportunity for bookworms to show off everything they know. His mother has long since lost all hope in him. He is a shut-in in Hakakomori because of his work, and the boy lives alone in the house. Today he returns home with a bag in his hand. Hakakomori, or simply iki, is a Japanese term describing people who withdraw from social life and often seek an extreme degree of isolation and seclusion. This situation can be caused by various personal and social factors. Such people are often unemployed and live at the expense of their relatives. We find Liu Shengshai at home as he opens the door and takes off his sneakers to go inside. It becomes clear that he does not live entirely alone. When he turns on the light, he has already warned his loved ones of his arrival because he has women waiting. He then goes to the kitchen to put away his groceries. Today's shopping trip was rather pleasant because the supermarket was crowded and full of new products. Many kinds of food have been introduced recently, so he bought new flavors to try, such as instant noodles. He walks toward the cabinet in his room, stands in front of it and apologizes for making them wait. On the shelves are various figurines of pretty girls, a maid, a magician, even a witch. Some of them have delicate hand gestures and first-rate facial expressions. These are his women. Tonight he will dine with Rumchan. For dinner it is the same instant noodles. The lid is closed, head resting on the table. He waits for the noodles to cook while the figurine stands beside him. Even though he has many women, he sometimes feels empty, a sense of depression. He hardly knows how to flirt. He is an otaku, a person passionate about something, usually referring to anime or manga fans, who came from nowhere. He was so depressed that he suddenly began to rage. Lying on the floor, he thinks it is his mother's fault for giving him such a strange name. Whenever he thinks about it, tears gather at the corners of his eyes. It bothers him so much that he is ready to cry over this odd name. According to a Chinese translator, his name sounds like the names of various metals from the periodic table. Suddenly music begins to play. It is the melody of his phone. He answers the incoming call from an unknown number. The man on the line asks if he is Luo. A courier has arrived and asks him to open the door and sign the receipt. Luo takes the box but looks at it without a trace of emotion, perhaps even with indifference. Taking a utility knife in hand, he removes the tape and opens the package. Inside is a Pineapple 11 phone that he ordered a few days ago. He now has a brand new phone. He connects it to his computer to transfer the data. When everything is finished, all that remains is to wait for the transfer to complete. Feeling tired, he decides to take a nap. Someone calls him in his sleep. Liu Shenshi. Liu Shenshi. Again and again, the boy's dream is disturbed by a loud noise as someone calls to him again. He opens his eyes, darkness surrounds him, and he cannot tell where he is. Then a voice asks if he wishes for superpowers. He cannot tell where the voice comes from or who is speaking. The boy laughs it off. After all, he is long past the age for fairy tales. Suddenly a blinding light appears. A blonde girl reaches out her hand to him, dressed in white like a goddess. Her beauty makes the boy blush. The loud ringing of his phone alarm snaps him back. He curses himself for forgetting to turn off the weekend alarm. Ring, 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 ring. Rio, annoyed, shuts the alarm off abruptly. A light shines from the phone, and a magic circle appears. When he opens his eyes again, he feels something soft, warm, and comfortable in his hand. He realizes he is holding the thigh of a gentle girl. He cannot believe it. To make matters worse, his face flushes red as the girl looks at him with a puzzled expression. The boy asks who she is and how she got into his house. The girl replies that she should be the one asking questions and calls him master. She then asks how she ended up there. The boy is shocked to be called master. He thinks she might be drunk and has entered the wrong house. He tells her not to call him that, even though secretly he is pleased, but he explains that he does not have the money to play along with such games and suggests she find someone else. Apologizing, he insists again. His words make the young girl's eyes fill with tears. Liu does not understand why she reacts this way. Truly sad, she begins to cry, tears streaming down her face. She says he really does not recognize her. To him she is just a strange girl. She adds that it is because he has used her for so long and still does not understand. The girl says her master received a new phone yesterday, and now he wants to throw her away. Leo grows increasingly bewildered. He insists that he has never met her before and has no idea who she is. She was simply in his room when he woke up, and who knows what she is trying to do. He thinks it would be better to call the police to resolve this. He begins to search for his phone but cannot find it anywhere. Then he remembers the strange dream from last night, a goddess reaching out her hand. At last he understands the girl suddenly in his room is his missing phone. A ringtone sounds. Lou realizes it is his phone ringing. Pointing at the girl, he accuses her of stealing his phone and demands she return it. The girl looks slightly surprised and asks if her owner would like to answer or hang up. He snaps back, "Answer it, and give me my phone." The boy warns her not to think about running away or the police will catch her. The young girl steps closer, places her hands on his shoulders, then falls against him and kisses him. It feels as if the boy has been splashed with paint. He has no idea what is happening. Lou becomes nervous. Why she kissed him is unclear. By reflex, he closes his eyes and gently pushes her away, telling her to calm down. When he slowly opens his eyes, he realizes his hands are resting on the girl's chest. Embarrassed, he instantly pulls them back and apologizes timidly. Both of their faces turn bright red. Then he wonders, why am I apologizing? She kissed me first. Still, that wonderful kiss was his very first. He remembers hearing a strange saying, if a man does not have sex by the age of 25, he might become a magician. Suddenly, the girl looks at him and calls him son. She asks if he is listening. If you are, give me a sign, but he is lost in thought considering that this might actually be a blessing and not a bad thing. The mother's patience wears thin. She yells at the top of her lungs, calling him a little brat and demanding that he listen carefully. The boy finally reacts. It really is his mother's voice. She asks if he is speaking to someone else. Liu hesitates and denies it, claiming he was only talking to himself. He cannot fully control his confusion. Hearing his mother's voice coming from this girl leaves him stunned. Her posture too is exactly like his mother's face, displeased, hand on her cheek, scolding him and asking if he is tired from staying up all night. He waves a hand saying he was not playing games but studying all night. When he asks why she called and what she wants, the mother suddenly grows angry, her emotions showing on the girl's face. She grabs the boy by the ear and pulls, calling him an ungrateful brat and demanding to know if she cannot call her own son whenever she wants. It is just like his real mother, truly frightening when angry. The young man replies that of course she can call him anytime and begs her to let go. He promises to do whatever she asks. Slowly she releases his ear, then sits on the table with arms and legs crossed. She tells him to ask the neighbor whether their apartment is still available for rent, since she no longer has the neighbor's phone number. That is his task. The neighbor's door is behind their own apartment. She tells him to hurry. Liu replies that she can consider it done. That's all for today, his mother says. She bids her son goodbye and ends the call. The girl who had been scolding him moments before resumes the role of a sweet, gentle girl. She begins calling him master again, signaling that the call is over. Suddenly he understands, this girl is his phone. The mysterious young woman who appeared out of nowhere is his smartphone, transformed into human form. If she really is his phone, then none of this is a dream. When that goddess-like figure gave him power, he decides he must discover what he can do with it. His phone has become a girl, so maybe anything he touches can also become a girl. At least that is what he begins to think. To test it, he picks up a pretty figurine in his hand and decided to try first on the figurine. Raising his right hand, he muttered something that sounded like a spell, then quickly lowered it and touched the figurine with 2 fingers. But nothing happened. The boy could not understand why. The girl also had no idea what he was doing. Since nothing occurred, he thought he must have made a mistake or that there were special conditions for using the power. The girl stepped closer and asked if he was all right, noticing how confused he looked. He turned to her and placed his hands on her shoulders. He said that if she was truly his phone, she should know exactly what files it contained. Embarrassed, she answered in a trembling voice. According to her, there were photos of girls in revealing clothes, stored in a folder labeled homework. She could clearly describe what was inside his phone. That convinced him completely. She really was his phone. She knew everything. The young girl then asked why her master kept all those pictures. Were those photos meant as study material? His face darkened instantly. He told her to keep quiet about it. Surprised that he could give her a name, he began to think seriously. The young girl waited eagerly. She had straight black hair, and he liked girls with hair like that. He decided to choose a fitting name for her. Finally, he chose Nikki. It was a wonderful name, and he liked it. She was overjoyed. Nikki loved the name because her master had given it to her. She threw her arms around him in thanks. The boy blushed slightly and suddenly felt very happy. Then, a sudden knock at the door followed by the sound of a key turning. Strange, only his mother had a key. Liu grabbed the girl and quickly led her to the wardrobe, telling her to stay completely silent. She asked if he wanted her to go into sleep mode. He replied that was exactly what he wanted. She switched to sleep mode and he shut the wardrobe. The boy hurried to the door. Standing there was a beautiful woman with brown hair and deep green eyes. Liu asked what she was doing here. His mother stepped inside, taking off her shoes, and asked why he seemed so agitated. He still had no idea why she had come so quickly after calling just moments ago. He said he had only just woken up and was getting dressed. She didn't really believe him. Entering with quiet authority, she asked if she was no longer allowed in her son's home and whether she had interrupted something. The boy insisted he had done nothing wrong. His mother set her bag down and sniffed the air as if detecting something unusual. She smelled the scent of a girl in his room, a very strong scent. A chill ran through the young man's body. He stammered an excuse, claiming it must be the fragrance of a new air freshener. He was struck by the terrifying accuracy of his mother's sense of smell. She looked at him skeptically, as though considering something. Luckily, Nikki remained hidden. The boy glanced toward the closet, only to see a single blue shoe with a bow lying in front of it. It was Nikki's shoe. He had not even noticed when or how it had fallen. It lay where few would normally look, but he was trembling with anxiety. He had to hide it quickly, or his mother would discover it. While her back was turned, he crept forward and grabbed the shoe. Just as he touched it, his mother spun around, but he managed to hide it behind his back. Suspicious, she wondered why he had suddenly sat down in front of the wardrobe with his hands behind him. He claimed the air there was much fresher than anywhere else, then let out a nervous, awkward laugh. His mother asked if he felt unwell. He was only nervous, obviously nervous. Her instincts told her he was hiding something. It was clear he had not simply sat there for no reason. Determined to expose him, she picked up a small blue figurine and gave him a sly smile, then suddenly hurled it hard against the wall. Leo reacted instantly, diving forward and barely catching the figure in time. His heart nearly stopped. Then he realized this was his mother's trick. Slowly, he turned toward her, already guessing her intentions, his expression darkening. She sensed her son was acting strangely today. She soon spotted the blue shoe, turning it over with her fingers. She asked whose shoe it was, warning him not to claim he bought the wrong size or to pretend it was some kind of fetish. Cornered, the young man had no idea how to explain or what words might ease her suspicion. His mother placed a hand on the wardrobe door, noticing the edge of a garment caught there. She was sure the answer lay behind it. Her instincts were sharp, and her actions made the boy even more anxious. She opened the wardrobe to see what he was hiding. The boy tried to stop her, but it was too late. She saw the girls sitting inside. Both mother and son froze in confusion. Liu had no idea what to do. His mother's eyes filled with tears as she gripped his shoulder. She said that a man must act like a man, must be a man of culture. She told him she would visit more often once she received her bonus. Wiping her tears with a handkerchief, the boy remained utterly perplexed. His mother misunderstood completely. He insisted it was a misunderstanding, and not what she thought. She told him not to lie, she was his mother. How could he hide anything from her? She explained that she knew he had never had a girlfriend, but the sudden appearance of such a beautiful girl in his room looked to her like an abduction. The boy protested that she truly did not understand. Suddenly her temper flared again. She repeated that a man must take responsibility for his mistakes. The atmosphere grew heated. Feeling cornered, he grabbed a fan as if to defend himself, sensing he had committed some great wrong. Nikki stepped forward, taking his mother's hand. She told her that her master had not kidnapped anyone and begged her not to blame him. Her words only outraged the mother more. She thought they had even started some kind of strange role-playing game. Turning back to the boy, she said that to correct his bad habits she would have to place him in an asylum. Leo shivered. Instantly he began to imagine doctors and the terrible consequences if anyone discovered that Nikki was actually his phone. He could not even imagine what they might do. With no other choice, the boy dropped to his knees in front of his mother and clung to her leg. He told his mother it was all a misunderstanding and introduced Nikki as his girlfriend. His mother was shocked and asked if it was true. He replied that everything had started only recently. Her expression softened, and she then asked why his girlfriend had been hiding in the closet. The boy explained that he had not told her anything earlier because he was afraid she would be angry. She almost cried with relief as if she trusted his words. His mother asked the girl if her son had ever hit her. Nikki shook her head and said that her master had always been polite to her. The boy had finally managed to ease his mother's suspicion, and he began to feel a little calmer. His mother gently patted Nikki's head and told her to visit more often. If she came by, she would give her all kinds of treats. Nikki happily agreed. After all that, his mother decided it was time to leave. Before going, she reminded her son not to forget the instructions she had given him about checking with the neighbor. She added that she had not seen her son for a long time, and that he now had a very beautiful girlfriend. She supposed he had changed a lot. He replied with a small laugh. Finally, she handed him something and told him not to be irresponsible. After she left, the boy decided to see what it was. It turned out to be a box of Bana brand condoms. His face turned bright red. He shouted after his mother, asking what she meant by that, but she only smiled from a distance. Clearly, she had imagined something. Suddenly, Nikki appeared in front of him and softly told him to be gentle with her. Liu quickly threw the box onto a pillow on the floor. No one could guess what his mother had been thinking. This was not something a mother should give her son. Her gesture irritated him, and Nikki looked at the box with curiosity. She touched it with a stick, then put it in her mouth. The boy was stunned. He immediately took the box from her and told her she could not eat it, and that she did not know what it was. She then asked him what it was, saying it looked like chocolate. The boy blushed and turned his eyes away. All he said was that it was not chocolate and that she should not worry about it. It was not a good thing.